Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Cyndy. To my new subscribers, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy the community here at Soulprint. We're small, but we're mighty. All right, so $83.3 million. And I think that doesn't include the 5 he already got charged, right? So what happens now, right? I mean, obviously he's going to appeal, although it is heartening to know that he has to put up all or almost all of the monetary payment before he can file an appeal. So he needs to come up with $83.3 million. Now, according to him, it's just sitting in his bank account, but I guess we'll see. So there's that. There's the fact that he now more and more frequently is talking about passing the cognitive test, right? It is astounding to me that he can make statements like, I bet most of you in my audience here, you couldn't pass it. And people aren't insulted. I mean, really. And, I've witnessed those cognitive tests. They're really not that hard. So there's that. So he seems to be coming a little bit more and more erratic, maybe. Though he's always been that. Anyways, we're going to pop in and see what's going on in his world right now, where the focus is, where it is not. I think I know that there's another court case happening. For some reason, I want to say that the hush money case is next. So that's almost Stormy Daniels. And honestly, I'm not sure if it's in February or March, but he doesn't really have much of a breather before the next court case starts. And of course, he had one of his main lawyers just say that he had to leave because he found his moral compass. So let's take a look and see what's going on in the world. Show me Trump now, show me Trump now, show me Trump now. It's almost a scary statement to make. Okay, so right now it's all about the money. Okay, so you've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this is about money. He's trying to figure out, where to get it from, how much more he can convince his followers they need to shell out. Because you can bet he's going to try to get his followers to come up with the $83 million. It's for him, that is his sole focus. That is where it hits the ego the hardest. And so then he runs out onto a stage and he tells his rabid supporters whatever he says, and they just nod their heads and want to hear it. More and more you're seeing interviews with mega people on their way into his rally saying words like he's doing God's work. No, he's not. But, again, what are you going to do? Okay, but that's his total focus right now. It's about money. How do I make money? How do I get the money? How do I move the money around? How do I? There's not a lot. He doesn't have a lot of options because there's that financial overseeing watching the company. But you see, this money, this penalty is against Trump personally. Now, do we think Trump personally has $83 million? No. What happens if the company has to give him $83 million? Would that not go against his income, and would that not have to be taxed? I'm not sure. I'm just asking. But so there's a lot of trying to figure out what's going on. This is the thing with him. He goes through his life, and certainly he's gone through the last many years, completely convinced that chaos is what will get him through. Okay, so for example, why did he jump up and leave the courtroom when the when Eugene Carroll's lawyer was making her closing remarks? Why? Because he could see the writing on the wall. She was saying mean things about him, and he didn't like that. But more, he had to figure out a way to create a distraction so that that could be what Fox News showed. Him defiantly leaving the courtroom, throwing to the side years of tradition, good manners. So for him, it's just this constant chaos. How do I create chaos so I can divert your attention? He really, in some ways, like a magician, like doing literally a magic act, right? Where the sleight of hands are going on, and that's like the way he is. It's always been for him. It's always been about the money, and sort of like it's not even the security that money brings as much as it is the perks and the feeding his ego. All right, he doesn't care who he's going to take down along the way. He is absolutely going to step over or stomp over whoever he needs. That Aileen Haba, you know, first of all, nobody believes with her experience that she is up to the kinds of, legal work that she's doing. She shouldn't have the experience for it. So there's that. But she has now proved herself to be such a mega focused human being that she sort of has gotten, sucked into it. And I'm not saying she wasn't ready and anxious. I'm just saying that she's a very young woman to have kind of messed up her career this badly. Now, don't kid yourself. Somewhere in the Republican world, she's going to get scooped up and treated like she's royalty. But the reality is she's lost the case. The Tower. So he's finally getting to a place where he's actually getting nervous about too much coming out, too much information coming out. So he's already been found to be to be someone who committed sexual assault. Now there's the business one that we're waiting for. We should get that verdict from Dr. Edgaron, I believe in the next day or so. He said he would have it out by the 31st. That's going to be a significant hit because all of a sudden now, not only does Trump personally have to fork over $83 million if he wants to appeal the ruling, and let's just say, for argument's sake, that he gets fined $300 in the Tish James New York fraud case. Okay. So now all of a sudden, his company has to come up with $300 million of liquid cash to hold, to move that into position so that he can appeal. Ditto with the 83. So now what you've got, and then you've got this hush money payment case coming up. And so what he's actually really nervous about is there's even more. It's not more to find out, but it's more for the public to be exposed to in terms of the practices of the corporation and him, right? I think all of us are talking about the walls coming in, and he's starting to feel the walls closing in on him. And absolutely, okay, absolutely, with the Eight of Swords. But what's interesting is that he he is still in a place where he really believes that showing strength and being, dominating and being bullying, he really believes that that is his, road to success. So this behavior is going to continue. Um, he's not going to be able to get away with some of his stunts once he's in federal court, but we shall see how that pans out and plays out. But he that's his go-to. That's all he knows how to do right now, right? But he is convinced that his mega people are going to pull him out of this one, because they're always there pulling him out of his legal problems, right? And if not him, well, then you have the RNCs paying lawyers bills. Like it's like he always finds another sucker to pay his bills. He always finds someone who is excited to be around him and who wants to partner with him and wants to, have that picture taken with their thumbs up looking stupid. Um, so in some ways, no matter how bad it gets, he still feels that his truest supporters are simply going to rise to the occasion and be there for him. What's really interesting is that, he doesn't he he's become so kind of nutty. Did you hear this about the if you donate or support Nikki Haley, you are never again going to be part of the MAGA movement. I think that's probably why they're supporting her, but he's just starting to start looking at the things that are not going his way. Okay, so the E. Jean Carroll case did not go his way. The appeal did not go his way. The second defamation, and that one's still from the defamation he made when he was in the White House. There's a whole nother one down the road that's coming up for everything he said after that. So he's he it's like he just can't, like, his energy right now is really erratic. There's anger and rage, and there's like calculations going on, and he's trying to, mentally juggle this over here and move that over there and try to figure out he pulls into place to, make that happen or make that work. Um, but he's starting to feel the hit. Okay. Like the $5 million to him was a joke. All right. It just was $5 million. He can make that from his supporters in a couple of weeks or less. But now it's starting to feel like it's some really significant money involved. $83 million is a huge chunk of change. And if he gets hit with even $300,000 or 250, whatever it is, million, in the fraud case, that's going to be a problem. Um, and following that, I'm pretty sure it's the hush money payment. I could be wrong. Um, but whatever the next one is not going to go well for him either, right? And I don't know that he recognizes that. In his head, he relives the past over and over again. That is how he feeds his ego when nobody's around to, pat his back. Mentally, it's about, you know, we know this, it's about winning the White House so he can make everything go away. You can't make the civil stuff go away, but we also know from the last time he was in office that, you know, he can connect with the state AG, and then sort of start turning the screws, so that a investigation is somehow dropped or slowed down. You know, there are times he thinks sort of giving it all up and walking away, but his ego won't let him run because he would see that as very weak and cowardly at this juncture. Um, but he just really wants to get back to that feeling of being the most powerful person in the world. That was what stoked his ego. And, you know, there's there's a lot of, you know, not very nice people in the world. There's a lot of not very nice people ruling other countries around the world. But he wants to emulate them. He thinks that they're just amazing. He's in a funny place right now. But this is kind of where you're going. Okay. You've got the emperor sitting here followed by death. So there are going to be significant hits to his empire, and to him. And that is going to prove to be very, very, very hard for him to be able to process and absorb. Okay. The money isn't there. He's trying to figure out how to get the money. Now, for the rest of us, we're being asked to use temperance, find our balance. Nine of Cups. We are moving towards a place where our intentions are going to be made manifest. If everybody gets on board, everybody does what they need to do. But we're being cautioned. The Four of Pentacles. So this is what those cards are saying. They're saying, you know what, listen, not every person who did something wrong is going to get nailed. It's just not going to happen. Not everything that Trump did wrong is he going to be punished for. And for people who are in that mindset, this is always going to be disappointing to them, and it's always going to kind of infuriate them that they didn't kind of get him good enough. But you have to understand that, you know, even people who really, really don't like Trump are going to get sick and tired of this. Is 5 years down the road, they're still suing him because he, you know, I don't know, took a stapler out of the White House. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be kind of a cutoff. And when cutoffs happen, stuff at the other end doesn't get dealt with. Now, I think that there's going to be more stuff coming out with regards to people around him, and, you know, maybe their misdeeds. But it's time for us to sort of pull back and believe that what he gets here is punishment. That's what he gets in human body on the earth. All right. There are so many other levels of learning that he was afforded the opportunity and chose to not. And that becomes karma piled on karma piled on karma. And a lot of that is going to be dealt with not in this life. What's going on in this life is just irony, right? It's just like the coincidences, the way things sort of come together. It's ironic that he treated women like crap his whole life. And it's ultimately going to be women who bring him down. There's not a porn star or a lawyer, then it's a judge. Women. That makes him crazy. But what that is ironic, right? So, in closing, it's just really, really important that we try to keep our expectations realistic. We keep our expectations in a place so that there is um, so that the results don't end up bringing anger and resentment to the people who are really so hoping that he will just never ever return to the White House. Okay, that's sort of where that kind of energy is at. I think that you're going to see more shenanigans this week coming up because, of course, there's another ruling. He's going to need to distract from that. I think once that one comes down, you're really going to start to see a significant spiral. He just may start stopping people in the street and telling them that he passed the test because he's got really good cognition. You know what I mean? Like he just, that's just where he's at right now. And frankly, his kids are no help whatsoever. Um, and just want him to kind of stay away from them. Here we go. That's what I know today. Thank you so very, very much for being here. Don't forget to put your questions in the comment section below so the amazing Joyce can make them all wonderful and send them to me for Friday. And that's what I know now. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye-bye.